Hello, my name is Mohammed Sise, and today I'll be doing my oral presentation on the cinematography of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So, Harry Potter itself is one of the most storied film series, one of the most storied novels of all time, I would say. It all started, of course, with the novels written by J.K. Rowling, and then folded over into fiction, fictional feature films, and I want to say 2001. The director for The Prisoner of Azkaban was not the same director for The Chamber of Secrets and The Philosopher's Stones, which were the first two films. And you can kind of see that difference in the feel the of the films, from the first two films to The Prisoner of Azkaban. So Alfonso Cuarón, he was going for more of like a darker element to the films, uh, in regards to the previous two films, a more darker tone and sophisticated visual storytelling. He used themes of fear and uncertainty. It was more emotional, it felt, than the first two films as well. Also capturing the growth of the characters as they were aging into adolescence. So capturing all those minute details really made a difference from the third film, from the two previous films, I would say. For storytelling devices, it seemed he used visual storytelling, of course, in the film, encompassing elements such as camera angles, lighting, framing, and movement. Um, Huron, he used the cinematography not just to tell a story, but to evoke specific emotions, making the audience feel tension and unease experienced by the characters as they went through their triumphs and tribulations. He innovated certain like camera techniques, lighting choices, and composition in the film, which conveyed the overarching themes of fear and uncertainty for the narrative. I would say one of the most notable techniques used in the film is the dynamic camera movements. The film, they frequently used long tracking shots and sweeping shots, pans, creating a sense of like fluidity and unpredictability. I would say these movements reflected emotional states of the characters in certain films, given what's going on in that certain plot of the story. I would say, especially with Harry, since him being the main character, he was going through, um, of course, some different things from the previous two films, more family related stuff. He was going through more emotional changes, physical changes, mental changes. And I would say the different camera shots and the camera techniques really highlighted those changes that he was going through and made you feel it as an audience. Um, I would also say the mirroring that they did, the camera's fluidity and mirrors, the instability, ever changing nature of the circumstances, enhancing the audience's immersion throughout the story. I would say they did a really good job at that as well. I'll say another crucial element was the use of light and shadows, which was used really through on out from Prisoner of Azkaban into the next, was it like six or five movies that they went on with. They use high contrast lighting with deep shadows. It's a reoccurring motive throughout the film, like I said, and throughout the next previous films to really set that tone of change and darker times that they're going into. So this technique, I would say, created like a sense of mystery or danger that surrounds the characters, like something's looming, or kind of like foreshadowing for things to come in a darker sense. Um, I would say also mirroring internal fears, internal conflicts that they face externally, though, with new threats facing throughout the school, throughout different characters. I would say the interplay, the light of the shadows, only adds visual richnesses to the film. But it also serves as a metaphor for characters' journey through the darkness towards eventual, light, clarity, and understanding, just getting an overall resolution to the problems that they had going on. Another thing that played a significant role in the cinematography was the framing and composition. I would say it conveyed themes of isolation and vulnerability. Like I said, characters going through different things throughout the story. So it would be a lot of shots where the characters were isolated, in a darker setting or just by themselves to create that sense of loneliness and, exposure to danger as well. So they're vulnerable by themselves, they're vulnerable emotionally, and then they're going to be danger looming, externally. The director, Curon, visually communicates the emotional states, making the audience, be aware of their isolation and resonate with them in a way, or try to resonate with them. The vast emotional distances, that they must traverse and go through. I would say by positioning characters in expansive and often intimidating environments, he really did this pretty well. The most of the movie was within darker lighting as well. So yeah, that also plays well into what the director was trying to convey and what he was trying to do with this certain different theme and different route that we're going through. For a specific scene for the analysis, I chose to do the bus scene in kind of the beginning of the movie where Harry first leaves his aunt and uncle's house and the night bus comes to get him. That sequence, it was like a perfect example how to convey fear and uncertainty, just with the rapid movement of the bus, the fast talking conductor, first time meeting the main quote unquote antagonist of that film, but just came out to be, one of the supporting protagonists. Um, I would say it created definitely a fast paced and chaotic setting. I captured, Harry's confusion and fear pretty great. They'd used a lot of close up scenes on Harry's face while the bus was moving erratically throughout the streets. And of course, his confusion was wondering if anyone could see them. They were kind of moving through around the cars. Um, so, yeah. The lighting in this specific scene was, of course, equally important. The lights were flickering and occasionally bright lights flashing from the oncoming traffic. It again created an unpredictable and menacing atmosphere. I would say the unpredictable lights make the journey feel, like perilous. Like, what's gonna happen next? Are we gonna make it to our destination or not? And kind of gave like a disorientated feel of fear. Of course, reinforcing the theme, navigating through a treacherous, unpredictable world. The fictional feel of it all. So the lights also played a key role. It went from dark to light, but the light was also had that uncertainty feel with the flickering. I would say the sound, of course, it kind of had like a, how do I explain it? Almost like a theme park music playing in the background, but of course it was a little faster to go with the fast movement of the scene. Um, I also say just the environmental sounds, the sounds of screeching tires, the horns honking, the rapid, like I said before, the rapid speech of the conductor. It just added to the whole chaotic feel of that entire scene. I would say the sound elements definitely heightened the tension, making the audience feel as if, you're on the bus, like you're experiencing it firsthand. So they kind of pulled you in with all these elements, such as sound, lighting, camera work. So yeah, everything combined, it really just made the experience, of course, filled with that fear and uncertainty, but also brings you in as an audience, so you can really kind of feel what's going on as well. I would say there's definitely use of symbolic imagery also prominent in the scene as well. The tight framing of the bus, of course, already before they used the CGI to make it seem like the bus was squeezing in to fit through the other two buses. Combined with the rapid exterior shots, it emphasizes like almost like a claustrophobic and frantic nature of the journey. So it's like everything's close knit and tight, and almost like you can't breathe. Um, I say that also plays into the whole story itself, the whole journey of, everything just feeling like it's toppling onto you and squeezing you, and you just have no breathing room. So, yeah, I would say the imagery, how it resonates with Harry, is lack of control over the circumstances that's going on right now. The overwhelming nature of his fears, everything just being unpredictable, not knowing what's truly out there, or he's still getting new to the whole wizarding thing, despite everything that he's been through. So, I would definitely say that plays a part, just that one scene, but it's almost like foreshadowing in a way, following through what he's going to go through throughout the story. So the bus scene and just tying it into the overall rest of the journey that he goes through. And then finally, to wrap everything up, um, basically just an overall summary, how Alfonso Cuarón, the director, uses strategic cinematography profoundly, enhancing his storytelling, allowing the audience to experience the character's fear and uncertainty, really bringing in the audience to the film, exemplifies how these techniques come together to create a powerful, immersive experience that underscores the film's thematic depth, using his lighting techniques, the sound techniques, the camera work technique. Um, Also, just by focusing these elements all throughout the film, it demonstrates the power of visual storytelling to convey a deep emotional, meaning or truth throughout the story. Also showing a sense of maturity as well throughout the characters from the previous two films. As I said before, Cuarón was not the director for the first two films, so he kind of had to pick up off of somewhere, but also realizing, these characters are also growing up, so we need to add a more mature, and with maturity can come darkness. So adding that into the film, I really feel like implemented key cinematography, and storytelling key devices, just bring it all together and creating a complex theme of the cinema. So, and that was my oral presentation once again on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.